This today's show, and I think that will be a great session for the youngsters and or the entrepreneurs or even the young who wants to be an entrepreneur, who want to build their career in sales and business development. Is going to be a great evening, and in this my section I will try to my best to bring those great knowledge to be shared for those other youngster. So I want to start with you. There are so many skills, so many careers, so many skills you had even in young time. Why did you decide to build your career in sales? What really inspired you?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a very interesting question. First of all, I would like just again thank you, John and the company and the audience for invite me to join today. I'm very happy and excited with that. As John mentioned, I have more than 14 years experience of working in different company and different roles, from the receptionist from a hotel, and then I have been worked as salesperson, a trainer, and now a corporate development manager. So during my more than 14 years, I pursue the sales, the business development, because I have two main reasons that make me very excited with sales job. So the first thing is that for me, sales is serving the other people, bringing them some value, and this makes my life, really meaningful. Every time when I can help people, I feel very excited and meaningful for my life. So I just do all with my passion, my integrity, and my kindness for the sales job. So the first thing is, sales is serving. For the second thing, one of the best words I have ever heard in my life is personal development. Personal development means enhance your capability, enhance your skill set, enhance your mindset, and everything to make you better, a better you. So, I find that sales job, sales career really make me a better me, really help me, very useful in helping me develop myself. So the key word is personal development. So I have two main reasons that make me very interested with sales job. Yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting actually. When you say there are two key things, viewers, this is the way. What Mr. Cook just shared is about what you want to do. You got to be passionate about it, and he just shared about it, that from young time he figured out he wants to. And he said a very key word: sales is serving. And the second thing is about adding value. I think that's something really brought it up in this one. So what he's saying, it's so valuable. So I want to drive to the next question in here. So if we wanted to be a great salesperson, what are the top 7 skills you think that someone should build?
Yeah, thank you. I personally think that for a salesperson, they need a really wide range of skill sets, including from communication, about negotiation, everything. But for me, there's some key skill that a top salesperson needs to have. The number one is that the communication skill. So, you have to know when and what to talk with your audience, with your prospect, and to really understand the old unspoken thing. Because behind the scene, in a sales conversation, there's a lot of things that we call unspoken thing. So you need to understand that by your communication skill. So you cannot get what you want if you don't know how to communicate with the other, right? So the first thing is communication. Number two for me is that the ability, the skill to build a rapport with the other, because they're saying that if people like you, they just want to hear you, right? But if people trust you, they want to do business with you. So you must know how to build the rapport with the other. So just imagine that if you don't like some person, so will you listen to him? I think rarely, right? I think rarely. So we have to build rapport with the other to make them feel good, to make them feel trusted about you, and then it's much easier for them to do business with you. So that's the second thing. For the third thing, I mean the empathy skill, the ability to empathy with the others. Because people don't know, I mean, I really liked a saying that people don't know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So ability to empathize with the other, to really understand them, really understand their needs, their demand, to provide the product and service suitably to them. So you need to put you and in the other shoe to understand what they demand. Yeah. The next thing, I think that very important thing when I work in the HR firm, I try to apply it a lot, and I try to teach my trainee about this skill, because it's very important, especially in an interview, because I have been working for an HR firm, so I meet a lot of people, many people. So the questioning technique is very important. By having the right question, you can identify the problem, or I mean the pain point of your people, your customer, your prospect. Yeah, and if you have good question, you have the right answer from your audience. So it helps you a lot in understanding people. Yeah. So questioning technique is very important. That's a very important skill. Number five, I think another very important skill is presentation skill. So presentation skill is not only important for ourselves, it's also, very critical for a trainer, for a teacher, for a speaker, right? So salesperson, we need to have really strong presentation skill. I'm not sure that I'm making an impressive presentation, not yet. I don't know, but I just do my best, okay? So just speaking in English, I'm Vietnamese.
Just fine. Just go on.
Yeah. So if you have a good presentation skill, you will know how to make a sales pitch. You know how to express your strength point, your benefit to your prospect. So presentation is very important. That make people impressive with your sales pitch. Then they may decide to buy or not your service or product. Okay. The next thing, I think that that's the handling objection, because in sales or in every business we always have objection, right? It would be very easy if you sell something and someone say yes immediately. So no such that thing. So you have a lot of objection from your prospect. Some common objection like, I don't have money, it's not urgent, I don't have demand, I don't know that, I don't know this, I don't know you, so I don't want to buy. So there's a lot of objection. So you have to know how to handle the objection to close the deal. Yeah. And for the last thing, I think this is the most important thing in every sale or in every conversation. So just imagine that you have conversation with your friend and you invite them for a coffee talk, right? You invite them for a coffee. You say, hey, let me buy you a coffee. And after some second, your friend told you that, okay, someday, so when I have spare time, so let's meet. So what is someday mean? Or what is sometime mean? They just, make a delay and, they refuse to your request maybe. So no closing at the end of the day. So no closing. So it's similar to a sales call, to a sales conversation. If you cannot close anything, so nothing happened. So closing a deal is very important. You have to close the deal, even at very smaller step, but you have to close the deal. So I personally think those are very important technical skill for a salesperson.
I think what you just say that those are amazing points, and I will love to ask something even actually related of them, and I think one of them will be that with the closing the deal. I think this is very important. I absolutely agree with you. But let me summarize. So viewers, you wanna be a great salesperson, according to the book, these are the skills you need to build. Number 1, communication skill. Number 2, building rapport. Number 3, empathy for others. Number 4, building your cushioning techniques. Number 5, your presentation skill. Number 6, handling objection. And number 7, close the deal. Learn to close the deal. So these are the seven skills you need, according to be a great salesperson. I just want to report to you guys, it's not about just selling, being as a job, as a business development, or on a sales job. Even if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need this skill as well too. And particularly nowadays, the world come to a position, any kind of jobs need some sort of sales skill. But when you want to be a sales or business development person, you need to be a champion into it. And that's something, these are the 7 skill book just shared, and for you could be very valuable. So just moving into this one book. So I'm going to ask you more about how to close the deal. I think you will be a great value for the audience. So just to getting into it, how did you build the sales skill, those 7 skill? How did you build in this area, in this? And many people have been continuously hearing, oh, I don't like sales job. I want to get out of the sales job. It's not for me. It's not suitable for me. A lot of people complain, but you really passionate about sales and build your career for many years into this space. How did you build this skill?
Yeah, thank you, John. For many people, sales job is they hate salesperson, right? You see, yeah. Every time when you pick up your phone and make a phone call, you say no, I don't have need to buy it. I don't know you, right? They hate the sales job, but you have to know that no sales, no income. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the sales job, sales career make you grow a lot. It's the best way, not really the best way, but for me, it's the best way to develop yourself for personal development. So as I understand this philosophy, I have to learn a lot from the good salesperson. I attend the classes for sales from the best teacher here in Vietnam and around the world. I see, I watch the video clip and reading book to learn about sales. Nowadays, it's very easy for you to find this document of video clip, technique, tips on the internet. But the most important thing is that practice. When I learned about sales, one thing made me very surprising. When I come to the class and I teach sales technique to young person, and when the young person asked me um, when I told you, like, one tip is never say yes to the first offer, for example. That's very key, role in sales. Never say yes to the first offer. So I teach the person, and the student, the trainee, they ask me, "Hey, Mr. Wood, it's like, you're right, but I see my mother when she comes to the market, she always do that over and over again. What the seller?" So I say, wow, your mom, your mother having daily practice on her skill. So I think she must be very good as a buyer as well as a seller. So the key point I want to mention here is practice. You can learn about many things on the internet, in the book, or everywhere else, or every person. But the key point is to practice. So I learned a lot about sales through, the video from the best teacher in Vietnam, in the book, and I learned from the psychology book, because you have to know the behavior of the people, of the person. So it helped you a lot in closing your deal. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. So viewers, we'll just share how did he build his sales skill. Number one, he learned from others. Number two, added different classes or took courses. Number three, he mentioned about he read books. If you're not reading, you're not learning. Number four, he watched clips. This is one of the clips. If you are in the internet or watching, this is one of the key clip you should be watching. And now you're watching live, and after this one you can also watch in YouTube. So number five is very important. He mentioned it. It's a practice again and again and again. Because if you don't practice, it doesn't happen. Even you cannot able to execute. Great. Thank you for sharing about those stories about your personal life, about building those skill set. So with that, I want to relate to your last skill set about closing the deal. I think this is something I want to ask it later, but I just so interested that I cannot stop myself asking this one. What is the best way for you to close a deal?
There are many techniques to close a deal, but here I suggest some technique for you to apply in your daily conversation with your friends. Like I mentioned before, if you invite your friend for coffee and they say that someday when you have spare time and let's go to coffee. So for me, I will ask more question. So is this Wednesday or Thursday okay for you? So which one would you like? So normally your friend, they do not reject you anymore. They say, oh, okay, so maybe 9 a.m. This Wednesday is okay for me. So that's one of the techniques that you close the deal in every single step. So very simple, right? Or like when you come to a coffee shop, or for using some product or service, normally people will say, even though you are not decided to buy the product, but they will ask you a question. So, sir, how would you like to settle the bill? By credit card or by cash? So normally we did not decide to buy the item yet, but that's question. So normally make a choice. Normally we make a choice. So normally I will say, okay, I pay my credit card. Okay. So there's some technique you have to be very master at, very good at when you want to close the deal. every single step you need to do. You need to close the deal.
Thank you.
Sean.
Thank you for sharing. It's not about how much you're selling, it's about how much you're closing. It matters most. If you're selling a lot but you're not closing, you're zero end of the day. Great.
Yeah, that's right.
The wholesale cycle normally start with the leads. So because if there is no leads, so there's nothing in the pipeline. So I want to go back to in the beginning, and let's go step by step forward about the tips. What is your top 5 tips to grow more leads for let's say about B2B or B2C one business in general? What do you like to say? What are your top 5? If you want to share any specifically B2B or B2BC is also fine too.
Yeah, whatever is B2B or B2C sales, it has some general, common point for those sales. So I personally think that if you want to increase your selling, you need to, you have to describe very clearly about your audience. About your prospect. Because one of the very mistake that I see from the sales is that they just want to sell what they have. They do not like, when they want to sell something, I ask them a question. So who you would like to sell it for? So normally they don't know, and they don't know where's their prospect come and go, how do they look like. So this very serious mistake. So the first thing you have to imagine, you have to describe very clearly about the portrait of your prospect, and then you have to they have to understand the demand, like the pain, the gain, what they want to have, what they don't want to have. Then you have to design a suitable product for your prospect, because it's very important. Remember that if you want to design a product, it must be very free or very low cost. But importantly, people have to use that. It's usable. And also this very valuable for them to solve their problem, to solve their pain. And then once you have product already, you have to develop some referral policy, or you make it some trial for your prospect, and then make some referral policy that make that prospect to introduce your product, services to their friend, to their family. So by this way, by the referral policy, you create much more leads for yourselves. And for sure, to make this, you also have to prepare for a proper marketing plan, right? So just some tip that I'm still applying to attract more leads in my business.
Thank you for sharing. So just viewers, just want to summarize. You probably have an idea to build a product, or so these are the tips from coming over for helping you to generate more leads. Number 1, portrait your prospect. Number 2, understand the demand. Number 3, design the right product which meet that demand. Number 4, right price for the right people, right customer. And the last one is referral partnership. And so that is one of the strategy we just shared with you, which could be very effective if you use right away. So with that one, I want to jump to in this question right now about cold call. Most of the time, it's been a nightmare for different salespeople to call someone. They're scared, they're afraid, they forget the script, and sometimes they have no idea what is the script. So for you, what will be your tips for a salesperson to start a great cold call? what should be the first 3 minutes? There's a lot of people always been saying that the first 30 seconds it decide is going to be in what direction. It's going to be yes direction or it's going to be no direction. So what will be tips to start a great way a cold call?
Yeah, thank you. I do a lot of cold call, and every day in my office, I heard young person to make a cold call, and they feel very nervous, they feel feared, yeah, before they starting a call. So also, they just they don't want the other people, listen to her, listen to him. So the fear is much more increased. So you make no effective phone call, especially for the cold call, because normally that's the first time that we approach the prospect. So some of my tips, because the prospect, they can realize, they can feel you just through the phone, right? If you lose your confidence, if your voice is very small or very boring, yeah, so they can feel that. They can feel your body also. So if you want to make a good phone call from beginning, the first thing you have to do is prepare for you the confidence. So how you create a confidence? You create a confidence by changing your philosophy. I mean, you're changing your body, your action, your gesture. Before I make a cold call, especially for very important cold call or with very senior people or senior leader, I have to make, I bring myself into the high state, the peak state with very good, emotional state. So my voice become better and I feel comfortable. So when starting a phone call, please do some exercise, just make some movement, just a slight movement to make you feel better. And then come to the desk, pick up your phone with a smile. Then, your voice, your gesture, your body language can be felt by your client, your prospect. So remember that if you want to make a cold call, just doing some move to make you in high state, the good state. Yeah. So that's the first thing. And for the newbie, I mean, for a new salesperson, you have to prepare a script. The script will help you well prepared and do not make you lost the phone call. Yeah, just prepare a script, follow some step in a script. Certainly, I do not encourage you to follow strictly 100% of the script. You have to do it very flexible. But for first time, you have to do it, by the script. So it gives you a guidance, what step you have to follow to make you more confident. Just have script in front of you, and for some, after you feel very confident, just put it aside. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Simple tip, right?
Thank you. So number one, be confident. You want to do a great cold call, prepare before the call, and that is the main message from Cook. Don't try to prepare during the call. I mean, if it's been too late. So the tips from Cook is, you want to make a cold call, prepare yourself before the call, be confident, change your philosophy, do some exercise and do some movements, get high, pick the phone with a smile, and also keep a script in the hand. So these are the tips coming out from Hook. Thank you, Hook. I think this was been a great sharing on this point as well too. So with that, I want to go to the next question. Is about I think there's a lot of companies, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of salesperson doing a lot of selling and a lot of closing as well too. But there is always been a talk that the gold is always in in the nurturing the leads. It's not about how many leads you got, but it's about how many time you touch them matter a lot of thing. So with that, I want to get back to you. So what are your top 5 things a salesperson should do to nurture their leads?
Interesting question, because there's a process. It's not just only one step, but to nurture your leads, you have to build a process for that. And for me, normally in my current work, also I segment the leads. I segment the lead, means I sort it into different leads, right? So you have to know every person, they have different demand, different ways of using language, different hobbies. So you have to make a segmentation for your customer. Then you have to identify what message you want to send to them, daily, weekly, or monthly, or whatever. But you have to identify the key message you want to deliver to them. And next step, you have to keep them in the conversation. If you have a ton of sales lead, but you don't take care, don't communicate with them, so it's become useless. So you have to keep them in a conversation. You can do some very simple step like sending them email, congratulations card on their birthday, or on some special day like Women's Day, right? So you send a message to them. So also, I usually tell my people to add the contact of your prospect into your phone. Then you have Zalo, you have Viber, you have many other media channels. So you can stay in touch with your prospect. You can text them, you can talk to them frequently to make them put you in their mind. So you will be the top of their mind. I left the headhunting business for a very long time ago, but many people still remember me now because I bring them some value information. I send my congratulation card. I send the handwriting on the paper, the card, and send to them. It very they remember me a lot. So even though I have not been in the business for a long time, but they still remember me. So remember that. You also can provide them with very useful information, such as the market update, the value information about the market, the human resource, the people, what move, many things else. You can send them email. So it's very simple, right? It's not expensive, but that's really work. So just send out. And finally, I think you have to have a calendar. A schedule to visit, to make a phone call, to send them email monthly, weekly, quarterly, or even though yearly. But you have to keep them in a conversation. So you can nurture the lead very effectively. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much for sharing. So viewers, I think this is one of the biggest mistake most of the salesperson doing, even many senior actually. So they don't really nurture those leads. So if you're building your own projects, or you want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to build a career in sales and business development, so these are tips to nurture your leads, so you can convert them, you can close them, and you can sell your product to them, close the deal with them. Number 1 tips, it's a process, so treat it as a process. Number 2, segment the leads by the demands. Number 3, keep them in the conversation. Number 4, use apps like Zalo, Viber to stay in touch. Number 5, give them information. Number 6, use calendar for engagement schedule. So these are the key tips what's been shared by Cook. So if you want to nurture your leads, execute this. These are the tips according to Cook, and this is going to help you out to grow your leads and bring them closer to the closing section. So with that, I want to talk to it actually about this B2B and B2C. B2B means business to business, when you're selling to another business, and B2C is business to customer. That means when you are selling to yourself to another one person client. Just explaining for the viewers. So I'm getting back to you in this work. So what are the difference in sales in B2B and B2C? What are the key difference a salesperson need to pay attention between B2B when they're working in B2B and B2C? The difference.
Yeah, thank you, John. In my opinion, there's a lot of common point between B2B and B2C. They have, a common ways and many common feature between those. But the very I think very big point at the difference between those is when you do B2C, you have to very specifically about your audience, your prospect, and you just serve one people. But when you do sales for B2B, it's very important to think it like a partnership. It's no more just one-time buying and then you go. But if you work with B2B, you have to think, long-term, and you think about the as a strategic partner. Like what I do with our client now is as supporting, I think about the demand, the very big demand, or what's typical. Like in those days, we are living in very uncertainty day, so people have to face to a lot of financial problem, financial issue. So we have to connect with our bank to support for the order of our client, our prospect. So for B2B, you have to think very strategic, very long-term, and long-term partnership. Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to add more, Vogue?
Yeah, that's all from me.
All right. So when you are working B2B, it's not about you always need to think about three things according to Vogue. Number one, think about partnership, think about long-term, think about strategic. These are the three keywords. Always should be in your mind according to Vogue, and that's the way we can help you to grow more in B2B. Which part do you like? Do you like B2B or B2C? As a salesperson, which one do you enjoy more?
Some years ago, I really enjoyed what B2C, and now I still enjoy that. But when it comes to corporate sales, I think it's very interesting for me to develop myself. It's a big picture for a corporate, because if you want to work with them, like if you want to work with a company, you have to think about the benefit of the HR department. You have to think about the sales department benefit, about accounting, finance benefit, because at a company they have to, to control, to provide the benefit to all team of company. So it's a big picture. Like I mentioned, you have to think it so much to serve different, customer in one company, right? Because if you want them to sign MOU, sign contract with them, so they have to work with accounting, they work with HR and the other department, sales and marketing. So you have to solve the problem of many different group of people, many different department. Yeah. So currently, I really enjoy corporate sales.
All right, so now we're enjoying in the new segment B2B. That's great. All right, so probably this is going to be the last question, and then we're gonna start taking the question from the viewers. So viewers, go ahead and keep commenting the live stream all your questions. I can see there's some exciting question coming over from different social media. So if you're watching this one, you have any questions, and put it on. If you have a product, you have a project, or you have a jobs, any problem you're facing right now about sales and business development, put it in the comment, and we'll do our best to give you a value to solve your problem. All right. So I'm getting back to you in the last question from my side, and then we'll go to the viewers. Number one is, you're also a sales trainer too. You're also doing a training manager as well too, beside business development and sell. So what are the key skill set of a trainer according to you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy to get back to my period of being a trainer. As a trainer, I think it's not really easy. It's very hard job that I have to, spend a lot of time and effort to be a trainer, because teaching and people is not easy. But anyway, for the skill set, I think as a trainer, you still have very good communication skill, because you have to interact with the people, right? If you're not good at communication or presentation skill, all of your students will be very sleepy, right? Very sleepy as the time when I was in the school. So you have to know how to communicate, how to interact with the other people, how to get their attention. But how to get their attention is not focused on what you want to train. You focus on what the people want to hear, want to listen from you, want to learn from you. So you have to understand, again, they have to understand their needs. So communication skill. The next thing is coaching skill. Coaching skill mean it's similar to the questioning technique. You have to ask the right question to understand if your student, your trainee, really understand what you want to convey to them. So communication skill, training skill, coaching skill, and one more thing is very important, inspiring skill. Because in a class, they may agree with you, they may, totally agree with your point, with your what they taught them, but after leaving the class, we're not sure that they keep practicing or applying anything in your lesson to their life. So you have to know how to inspire the other people, make them feel good, make them feel inspired, and they use your lesson into their work, into their daily life. Yeah. Some key skill that I think is very important to a trainer.
Thank you for sharing. So viewers, you want to be a training manager? Let's learn from this training manager. He said that these are the things you need to learn. Number 1, communication skill. Number 2, presentation skill. Number 3, focus what people needs to learn. Number 4, coaching skill. And number 5, inspiring skill. So guys, I also very much same page on this one too. These are the skills you really need to be really good at it to be a great training manager. And he is a training manager. He was been a training manager for years. So let's do it if you want to be a training manager in your life.